I'm gonna talk about my main gripe with what I call the fan WICSOs, essentially just WICSOs that aren't made by Ada's Pro, while just mapping out some other stuff. So this might be a sneak peek for episode 4 while the series is on hold. I seriously need to rewatch the first few episodes to decipher what step I should take next. Oh, there's the eraser tool. But anyways, yeah. My main gripe with fan WICSOs is, put simply, how much they pull on real life names and real life relations and stuff. So, what I mean by that is I guess you could say an equivalent of the Germanics being basically just the real life Germanic groups. Or even stuff like Romans and subsequently the Romance languages. Yeah. Why? Whereas WICSO does a good job in clarifying that WICSO does an actual job at clarifying that this is not real. Even with names like Netherlands, India, a lot of the fan favorites. Yeah, so many fan favorites. Of course, there are some real names in there. Wait, I just realized what even goes on here. What goes on in the Caucasus? That isn't related to Russia trying to take it over. What other thing even happens in this region? Honestly, I feel like there's not much I could reasonably say about whatever goes on here. Even stuff like. So, yeah. Anyways. Trust me, you'll understand the why I'm mapping if you just bother to look. I'm honestly doing this to keep your attention. It's your attention span that's probably fried. I know mine definitely is. So yeah, and then this. Allow me to explain the lore as to why there's just flat out no one in the Americas in this timeline. Put simply, all the humans across the entire world were deleted before the series actually started. So naturally, that means the zero stays at zero until a positive number of people discover it. Which means the WICSO humans are gonna have to learn whatever goes on here the hard way. Also, in case you're wondering why this thing looks like it has its nose smashed in, I just added that to show that this is connected. It looks kind of funky now that I think about it. Now, naturally, yeah, I don't think Spain is lasting that long. But, kinda just digression. I don't know. Anyways. As now this mischievous Italian empire seeks to assert itself over Iberian Peninsula, and this is actually going to be the start of how. Of course, they get stopped at the Pyrenees, roughly. First, let me crank this opacity to half so I can. Yeah, once this gets in, it's just chaos. And from here, we see the first more or less definitive border be created. So, yes, I'm gonna make borders properly. Trust me, more of these black lines will show up. So yeah, this is the first actual peace treaty that starts denoting what a national border should be. Yeah. I know. Looks horrendous. Especially with incomplete borders. Yeah. Yeah, this is more or less a sneak peek of what's to come. Also, I got a few days left. My, I think I've pretty much explained my main gripe with. WICSO, other people's WICSOs very well. Just don't really bother coming up with cool stuff that will actually set it apart. Now, trust me, this guy is probably not gonna exist for that long. Yeah, episode 4 sneak peek. Also, no, they don't believe they were abandoned by God. See, yeah, now Portugal here is gonna try to pick on someone who is not their own size. But generally, they have a lot more going for them, so. Yeah. They see this country rolling, they hate him. Trust me, this is just the humble beginning for the big, grand Portuguese Empire. Also, I just realized the littlest mistake in that map. That pixel should not be that color. So yeah, enjoy. So yeah, just enjoy this for quite a bit while you still can, while you can still enjoy this. So yeah, eventually this country kind of just caves, and the front line is frozen. I don't understand. Oh, yeah. Honestly, I think the borders are actually gonna help me rather than. Put simply, I can keep track of country borders a lot better this way. Given, yeah, rudimentary borders might just be ancient frozen front lines and wars and stuff. But that's not always the case, really. As it could also be drawn along ethnic lines. So yeah, really think of this as WICSO Portugal's humble beginning. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, like, about how each different groups add a mixture between each real life equivalent spread out. So basically, for these guys, for this one, there's. So I mentioned that the purple team is primarily, or rather, comprised of the DNA from real life Japan, Spain, and France. Well, on this side of, like, the Balearic Islands, this Japanese DNA is the majority. Whereas on the other side of the Balearic Islands, really, it's a plurality instead of a majority. Except for these guys up here, which are a completely unrelated group. Actually still share some bits like okay, it's not just like Spain, France, technically also Portugal because of the sides. Anyways, my real see, yeah, I think I've explained why I really don't like WICSOs that pull so heavily from real life instead of bothering with doing a bunch of world building. So yeah, then this border gets actually defined out. Like so. I know, but like I'm gonna make it explicit that these countries, these WICSO versions of the countries look next to nothing. The people of these WICSO countries look next to nothing like their real life counterparts. So, back to recoloring this map. Hold up. I want to pull out. Ooh, yeah. This one actually looks so much cooler. So yeah, anyway. It's mostly just, and also seeing the way languages also evolve to be. It's not just the way groups evolve, but also the fact that their languages evolve to be rather unsatisfactory copies of real life languages, too. Like, there is, like, the potential for doing some actual world building for your world is, it's through the roof. So, like, this group here has, like, these purple team-derived ones have weird Japonic romance mixed languages. Stuff like that really helps tie your world together. Make it just that bit more believable. Okay, maybe you don't need to copy my strategy, like one for one, but my point still stands. So yeah, I essentially just used the Po Valley to define this one. But honestly, I think I'm decently satisfied with my result here. Honestly, this could make for a good intro to Borders in Season 4. Or, not Season 4. What the hell am I talking about? Episode 4, I mean. Jeez, my mind is kind of cuckoo right now. You might ask, oh, what about Poland forming? Or other countries? Chill, I'm getting there. Eventually. So, yeah, thank you for watching this little rant and an episode 4 sneak peek.